All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the shit show that is Thumbtack. So, I am on Thumbtack as a pro with a skill set revolving around home technology. So, everything from TV mounting, home security, smart home, uh, things of that nature. I thought Thumbtack may have been a good option to go to because people seem to navigate to them online, and we'll kind of get to that a little bit later. But I thought that would be a good way, for me to gain some leads and actually drive some traffic to my business. Ultimately, increasing my reviews so more people will see me. At the end of the day, being more marketable on Google's platform, you need more reviews, you need more um, people talking about you. So I thought Thumbtack may have been a good option for that. But being connected to Thumbtack for the last 2 years and really diving deeper into it this year, it is proven to be a disaster of a company and a company that frankly rips off its contractors, its pros that they call. And don't take my word for it. You could see this all over the internet. Looking at this post here, Thumbtack is the same as all the rest. Um, is anyone else as pissed as I am about Thumbtack's refund policy? And the complaints go on and on and on. And this is not even just from the pro side. I see this, from the customer side as well, because sometimes I ask them, how easy was it for you to find what you were looking for? And they'll tell you, I really had a hard time finding what I was looking for because I constantly get requests for jobs that are not in the scope of what the customer requested. So Thumbtack needs to fix that. I really think Thumbtack needs to um, be more transparent with people when they search for contractors because a lot of times, they're sending out requests and these requests go to three, four, five different pros, and we're all paying fees to Thumbtack for these leads, basically, and only one of us will get the job. So any given job, let's just say job A, customer request Thumbtack charges $25 per lead, $25 for that lead, and it's going out to four different contractors. Well, Thumbtack just made $100 off of that lead, and the only one contractor may get that. And what happens is you have to be, at your phone 24/7. Don't don't be out doing any work. Actually, doing what your job is and helping your clients and stuff. You have to be on your phone. It's got to be tethered to you. You better be looking at your phone. You better be in an area that has the best reception. And you better hope their app doesn't crash in the middle of you trying to actually communicate with a new lead that just came in. Because you'll definitely lose. Or don't be asleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, and a lead comes through, and you get charged $35 for this lead, and you don't get it. So it is in many ways I think is becoming a very unpopular scammy website and company. There's just too many people out there that have said this on from YouTube to Reddit to from every corner of the earth. This place has become a trash can in many ways. Looking at I'm in the Atlanta area. This is their new performance dashboard. So they gave us a dashboard. Um, this shows that my max lead pricing. I'm in the competitive range. I respond within 7 minutes, which is actually should be lower than that because I typically respond within a minute of getting a lead. Like I say, you have to be so quick. It's crazy. My average review rating is still 5, and I'm listed as a top pro. But yet, it is crazy how many times they will deny your refund request when it's clear that you shouldn't have gotten these leads in the first place. Who is up at 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning calling leads? That doesn't make any sense. That is ridiculous, especially when I have my business hours that are posted. I have blocks on my calendar that they say they're supposed to work, but they don't. And then when you call in to their support, they give you the runaround and they tell you just whatever scripted um, junk that they want to tell you. It's ridiculous. I was on a text messaging thread with a agent today and kind of just voicing some of my concerns, and they just read basically from the script. And then they offered me a new service that you have to pay for, Thumbtack Front Desk. Oh, it's our automated lead response service that you have to pay, either $60 a month or $500 a month, depending on how many locations you have. So just another way to just suck money out of your pocket. So, as a pro contractor, it's becoming increasingly a place where you really want to stay away from. It's just a little harder to get advertising and stuff going on Google. You do have to spend a good amount, but I do think ultimately at the end of the day, the ROI will be a little bit better because you're actually generating these leads coming directly to your website. You're not having to fight for leads that come in and have to worry about, oh, how many people is it going to today, and how many I have to respond in 2 milliseconds in order to get it. So it's crazy. And then you go online and you kind of see what the top people at Thumbtack are saying. So like their CEO, who I think after looking at some of his videos, he's a definite tool. I don't know why he's CEO of this company. It's kind of ridiculous. So sorry for all the notification sounds, but yeah, this guy is crazy. Oh, sorry about that. So let's look at some of the crap he's saying.
American families who use this app to help them with their home goals.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to save a lot of money. I would say the biggest thing is it saves you stress. It saves you anxiety. People know that there's a big risk with their water heater breaking if they don't maintain it.
Oh my God, it sounds like he sounds like a politician, just saying all the magic buzzwords and everything else. But he in a lot of his interviews, he never answers the question that he's being asked. He always dodges the question. They're just crazy.
Or getting roof rot if you're not cleaning out the gutters. And Thumbtack now makes that obvious. It shows that to you, the sort of cost issues, as well as making it easy to sort of add that to your plan and hire a pro to get it done. So if people use this, we believe they'll sleep better at night. They'll have more peace of mind as a homeowner.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, the homeowners sleep great, but then you're ripping off all the contractors that use your platform. And then the homeowners, when they find out that the business practices of Thumbtack, they won't be coming back. So it's pretty crazy. But a lot of these news organizations and stuff, they don't talk directly to the consumer or the contractor. They go to the CEO and believe whatever they kind of spit out.
How does Thumbtack's AI-powered search feature differentiate from other traditional methods?
Yeah, historically search, and even on Thumbtack, was a keyword search, right? You'd put in plumber or carpenter or something like that, and we'd use that to look up the plumbers and carpenters in our database. But people don't often know exactly what to search for. Sometimes they want to say, hey, my pipes are leaking and here's a picture of it. And now Thumbtack can take that in as a search input.
And they still don't get to the right place. And they still gonna get labeled up on the furniture assembly for that same plumbing job. So yeah, it doesn't work.
Hi, Marco. Thanks so much for coming on here and chatting with all of us. I've been following Thumbtack for years and years, and just really admire your endurance and evolution. I'm
Well, he must be another idiot.
curious what comes next for Thumbtack. What's on the horizon? You mentioned like this, there's a lot of vertical marketplaces that are going deeper and deeper into the process itself. Like, is Thumbtack going to get deeper into the booking process with payment scheduling and all that, or is it more like scaling up liquidity, getting Thumbtack more as like a brand awareness on the demand side? Like, where are you headed?
So I'd say we have two big kind of strategic investments. One is continuing this forever work on the fulfillment experience and making Thumbtack more reliable, more consistent, and helping you find the right pro for whatever you need done. And instead of going
All at the same time, screwing the professionals that actually do the work. So yeah, they're helping you find the right pro, but then that's coming at the extreme expense of extremely high lead cost for you to get that pro. It's ridiculous that you're paying $50 and $60 for a lead that's going to net you $100 in that particular job. When you factor in fuel cost and time, to get there, it doesn't make sense at all. Not at all. Like, unless you're doing some, very large jobs, jobs that actually, if these are jobs that are, hundreds of dollars, and then, you can possibly justify it there, but at the same time, you have to get in the door to even get there. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, for sure.
going category by category, you should think of us as going kind of step by step. And so, the request for quote was kind of the 1.0. The 2.0 of this became this instant match, instant quote system. And there, what we did very deliberately was to go look at.
Yeah, instant match, instant quote. Basically, you're for the most part, if you're a pro on Thumbtack, you are paying for people to call you and get a quote. You're paying anywhere from $20 to $100 per lead to come in just for you to say, "Hey, my price is X." So you're paying for air. You're not paying for actual, job. Few of those you actually turn into jobs, but you get a lot of people ghosting you. You get a lot of tire kickers. You get a lot of people coming in, "Hey, what's your price?" And Thumbtack says they put pricing online, but none of the customers I talk to ever see the prices. So, how effective is that? It's not.
What the pro is doing in their heads in terms of sort of matching criteria. And it's kind of the obvious thing is like, do I travel there? Do I do that type of job? Does my sort of cost line up with their budget expectations? Do I work on that day, etc.? And we tried to sort of get pros to pre-answer all of those with the exception of availability.
No, you don't, because the pre-populated questions that they ask are so basic and sometimes useless, and you can't even customize what you can put in there. So, they pre-populate these ridiculous questions. If somebody is looking for TV mounting, a lot of times they're looking for multiple TVs. You can't even put that in. So then you'll end up with a customer with the expectation of, "Oh, I can mount 5 TVs for $100. That's unrealistic, and there's no workaround for that. How do you fix that? Thumbtack does not have a good feedback loop system, so you can forget that. And if you call support, they're just going to give you some kind of canned answer.
Availability data, which we saw as its own sort of big bear that we left aside. And so the sort of Thumbtack 2.0 from a fulfillment standpoint was this instant quote system, but then the customer sort of was introduced to the pro and then they scheduled the job in the chat. Like, it was no longer a support experience.
I think Thumbtack forgets that their customer is also the professional, is also the pro. I think they spend so much time getting, the consumer to their website that they forget that their customer is actually the pro because we're the ones paying for the service. The consumer is not paying for the service. So it's ridiculous that they don't put more time into understanding how pros actually work and the costs that are involved with that. And moving forward, they say that they are for the pros, but frankly, without us, they wouldn't exist. If everybody boycotted Thumbtack today, there wouldn't be a Thumbtack. That actually might be a good idea. I have to think about that.
Experience. And so what's coming now, sort of our 3.0 experience, is instead of brokering introductions, Thumbtack is going to broker bookings. Bookings for the job sort of itself, or maybe for an on-site estimate to get you a firm quote, but ultimately a scheduled next step for all of our categories. And we're probably about 20-25% of the way there in terms of sort of facilitating these at scale. And not surprisingly, it is hard to sort of raise the bar on when a customer can contact a pro, right? You're requiring more of them. That is going to hurt conversion. That's going to filter some customers out. And so there's sort of a cost there. The flip side is, 75% of our messages and in the old model were about scheduling. We knew this was the missing piece to bring people together. And so you need...
I call total bullshit on that. Because right now, there's nothing around scheduling. You can quickly solve that with a text message or a message. Most of it is around quoting and pricing. Like, that is total BS.
To see offsetting increase in sort of conversion and higher rate, sort of bottom of funnel type of metrics. And we do. And it's sort of very higher rate positive, in particular to the pro side. And that's compelling to us. So there's more work to do to kind of finish rolling that out. But over the course of the next kind of 2 to 6 quarters, you'll see it sort of really go to 100%. And at that point, Thumbtack kind of will no longer sell introductions, right? It'll just sell bookings. And then we're kind of not done. We will keep building on top of that. You can think of, the 4.0 era really being about the dollars.
Interesting you say that, because all you're doing is selling introductions. So when are we going to get to the point where you're selling the booking and you're charging for the booking and not just for somebody to whisper in your ear, hey, I think I might get this?
Welcome to the CEO.com show. My name is Clint Betts. Today's guest is phenomenal, a Silicon Valley legend in his own right. A young man, actually the same age.
Silicon Valley legend? You mean the kid that's the kid of one of the co-founders of Logitech? All right.
Is myself. It's Marco, the co-founder and CEO of Thumbtack. I'm sure you've used Thumbtack. I know I've used Thumbtack. Marco started Thumbtack after graduating from Columbia University, where he majored in political science and fell one class shy of another degree in neuroscience. During college, Marco was the director.
I'm sorry, but him as a neuroscientist, well, I guess I'm glad he started Thumbtack.
Of saving Social Security in Washington, D.C. We talk about this. It's really interesting. At such a young age, he's really concerned about Social Security and starts a movement in an organization that had 10,000 student members, over 300 campus chapters.
All right, let's get to the details here.
Create an online marketplace company.
Yeah, so look, the motivation after our sort of college venture in DC was to start a technology business, and the motivation was to solve the biggest problem we could find, and maybe most importantly, solve something that felt like it was going to inevitably going to be solved. Right? There are a lot of things out there that are big problems that are
He's solving it and fucking it at the same time.
sort of way out of our capability or humanity's capability to fix. And so we didn't those, and it was the much more basic, like, hey, what's something broken today that feels like technology is going to inevitably solve? And this was a time, 2007, 2008, where e-commerce had already become prominent, especially being sort of young. You're like, of course, I'm going to shop for all this sort of stuff online. It's better, it's easier, it's faster. And then when you went to sort of observe sort of our category.
All right. He ain't talking about shit.
Given what's happening in the news, I got to start by asking, tell us about inflation as you see it, both the materials perhaps that the contractors have to use to get a job done and what they're charging. How much of that is getting passed along, and how do you see that play out on your platform?
Thanks, John. So we're thrilled to get this new investment to really deliver on the first ever modern home platform for homeowners to get more done and to confidently manage their homes. And with that, that means sort of dealing with all the things that come their way: inflated prices, hard to find labor. We want to be their partner throughout it all. It is something that we are seeing on the platform, but really the biggest problem in our space is not the cost of lumber. It's often finding a great contractor, finding a great pro.
Am I losing my mind, or he just completely dodged that question? Let's go back here.
News, I got to start by asking, tell us about inflation as you see it, both the materials perhaps that the contractors have to use to get a job done and what they're charging. How much of that is getting passed along, and how do you see that play out on your platform?
Yeah, he completely dodged that. This idiot is talking about the customer's experience, which is great, but at the same time, they're just screwing the contractors. The guy clearly asks, hey, what are you really doing about this as we're seeing rising cost to actually do the job? And he's talking about, well, we're bringing a great platform to them. And he sounds like a politician. He needed to go in the office because he'll probably win over some of these idiots out here.
Throughout it all. It is something that we are seeing on the platform, but really the biggest problem in our space is not the cost of lumber. It's often finding a great contractor, finding a great...
Get out of here. It is the cost of lumber. We saw that directly with the housing market shortage because the cost of everything went up and the cost of doing business went up. Builders can't build houses if the cost of everything is too high. You can't hire people if the cost is too high. You won't have any contractors out here doing work if the cost is too high to get to them, or the material cost is too high. And then on top of that, your company charging ridiculous lead pricing on top of that. So, how can any of them make any money? We're in business to make money. We're not in business to keep your company afloat.
Great pro, knowing what you should be doing to begin with, and that's what Thumbtack is helping with.
So Marco, can you give us an idea, any color on what you've seen in terms of rising prices, inflation on the platform?
There we go. A second person asking the same question. Let's see if he answers it this time.
So what we've seen is a very different seasonal spike than every other year. So last year, outdoor services exploded because people felt more comfortable investing outside their home than inside. Now we're seeing sort of a reverse of that.
Is he in the same interview? Like, is he talking to somebody different?
Previously, you saw a lot of DIY. Now you're seeing a move toward do it for me. But throughout it all, we're sort of helping these homeowners find and hire the...
We're not talking about the homeowners. I was going to say something. I'm going to keep it to myself. This is the type of leadership that we have at Thumbtack, and this is why Thumbtack has gone completely in the toilet over the last few years.
The best pros for whatever they need done, and increasingly know what they should and could be doing to manage their home sort of as effectively as possible.
And what about your own costs, Marco, when it comes to your own engineering labor, when it comes to the technology platform that you need to run your business? How much of this raise is going to go to that, and how much do you see prices rising?
Yeah, so we see an incredible investment opportunity. We're still at the really early days of the digital transformation of the home, and through that, plan to invest this investment in people. And
he definitely doesn't want to answer the question about how this is actually affecting the contractors, because if he did answer the question, he'd just basically say, oh yeah, they're they're making us a lot of money.
And products and technology that we're going to bring to bear. Inflation, I'll admit, is not something we feel sort of in our internal labor costs, and that's probably because it's dwarfed by the sort of rich.
You don't feel it because you fucking the contractors out of all their money.
Return opportunity that we see by building more of this product, delivering on more of this vision for our customers. So we don't plan to slow down, and we don't think. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you use any of the money raised to sort of subsidize costs for users on your platform to make it cheaper for them?
We do not. We think the biggest pain point is actually not the cost of these jobs, though that's getting a lot of.
Oh my God, did he really just say that? I know this is 3 years old, but I guarantee they still think the same way because it's just been going downhill ever since. He really just said the biggest pain point that he sees is not the cost of the jobs. Are you out of your mind? That was even 3 years ago. Like, stuff was getting ridiculous then. And, fast forward to now, it's out of control.
Headlines. The biggest pain point is knowing what you should do and then easily getting that done. And that's what Thumbtack attacks and does better than any other platform out there. And through that, we bring a lot of delight to these homeowners who get to save time, get the home that they want.
Yeah, that revenue growth came from, a lot of lead pricing increases, and it's instant booking and all these newfangled things that you're putting in place that actually have no actual value for the people that are actually funding this platform. The pros you don't want to talk about.
And really have the peace of mind that they're doing what they should be doing to manage their biggest asset.
Well, that was fun. So, as you can see, Thumbtack is, they are real fun. But you can see, you can go through, the various websites online, Reddits and Thumbtack's own website, if you can find anything, if they don't censor you, but this place is ridiculous. I got to find a new way to generate leads. It's gonna cost, but it's not gonna suck me dry like Thumbtack. So, but hey, I'm gonna end my rant for today. I had to make this video because I just have been becoming increasingly irritated with how the Thumbtack platform works and not getting any value really out of it. I've gotten some leads here and there that have turned into something pretty good, but could I have used that money to do my own advertising through Google and have been just as effective or more? Probably. Google is the world search engine. Second to that is Thumbtack. Not Thumbtack. Ooh, man. I'm about to cut my tongue off for that one. Second to that is YouTube. And Thumbtack is just trying to ride those coattails and drain us all dry. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, if you are a business owner or a pro or even a customer that have used Thumbtack and you have an experience to share or comments, please leave those below. Definitely going to look into some other avenues of compensation to try to get my money back from Thumbtack. So we'll see how that goes. But again, if you have any experience with Thumbtack, if you're a pro out there that it has it felt like they've been ripped off by Thumbtack, please share your experience. We definitely love to hear it. And maybe somebody at Thumbtack might see this. I doubt the CEO will, because he just doesn't seem to think that there is a problem and that everything is golden on his end. He won't even, he can barely even say the word pro or even talk about us in a way that makes us feel like we're actually contributing to his bottom line. So Again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.